And we are live from the vault. Smart Heroes Part 2. Welcome to Redemption HQ, everyone. Thank you for subscribing and hitting the like and all the notifications for when the new episodes are up and launched. I am Brobarian, and I am joined today with Robert and Spectral Force. And we are going to be finishing out the Smart Heroes. We're finally heading towards the end of what is in the core rulebooks and the current CAs, at least until the next set of adventure books come out. Gentlemen, how are you doing tonight?
Doing great, happy to be here, and trying to stay warm. It's freezing out there.
Hell yeah, it is.
Oh, yes, it is quite cold. In fact, the wind advisory up here that started at 6 a.m. is supposed to end in 15 minutes at 10 p.m. So I'm excited for that, because
Ooh.
I don't mind the cold, but that wind was bitter today. I'm glad
The
I went
weather out,
inside.
yeah. The
Yes.
weather outside really is frightful. Oof.
Wait, they canceled that song. We can't sing that anymore.
What?
Or no, is it that one? Or no, it's Baby
No,
It's Cold
maybe it's cold
Outside.
outside
Baby,
was
it's
the one
cold
that,
outside.
that people have been
Yeah,
talking about, which I think is I enjoy singing that song. It's got a beautiful tune.
It
it
does.
does. It does. You know.
I still have
Oh,
the old Dean Martin record. Sorry,
ooh,
CD.
nice.
So it's
The
smart though.
announcement.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna derail for 1 second here. The
Sure.
announcement for the new CA is Friday at 6 a.m. from Dave himself. All right. So you were saying the Smart Heroes in
Yep.
the Vault Part Two.
Part 2. Yes. So we've got the Martian Gadgeteer, we've got the Soothsayer, and we've got the Strategist. Who would like to take the first go?
I'd be happy to start us out.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So the strategist is our last uh, non-extraordinary hero for the smart hero section. And it says here, you believe the ultimate weapon is the mind, and that weapon stems every other strategy, tactic, and device used to overcome an enemy. While you may not be a perfect physical specimen, you are nonetheless a master of war. Those who underestimate your cunning are doomed to defeat. The strategist is one of the few smart heroes with both weapons proficiencies and the advanced combat training feature, giving them a solid combat foundation. Strategists have flexibility as to which ability scores you can choose to focus on, either strength, dexterity, or intelligence being pretty good choices. You can also find creative uses for your plans, which will be a key to success for the strategist. This is a very complex but versatile hero. So we did see a couple of smart heroes last episode, uh, specifically the combat engineer and the combat medic that did have some advanced combat training situations, and the strategist will continue that. For proficiencies, we have the Constitution and Intelligence saving throw. Makes sense, smart hero, intelligence focus, Constitution for surviving those hectic, crazy times in the battlefield. Now, this fella here, though, is a skill and equipment Swiss Army knife. Choose 5 skills from a list including computers, deception, insight, intimidation, investigation, perception, persuasion, social sciences, and stealth. That's huge. And as far as the equipment goes, you effectively get all of it. You're proficient in basic, advanced, historical, and military equipment. The only thing you're not proficient in is improvised weapons. And you get a strategic expertise. You pick either deception, insight, investigation, perception, or social sciences. You have to have proficiency in it already, but choose one from that list and become an expert in it. I mean, this is amazing. You are a skill mage out of the gate here. Now, at first level, in addition to the usual genius points and plans that all smart heroes get, you get a feature called Analyze Opponent. Now, this talent lets you use a bonus action in combat to learn the highest and lowest ability scores of a single visible combatant in 100 feet. Now, one, this gives you a lot of fun possible narrative and storytelling things you can say about, okay, yeah, that guy looks like he's kind of run down now. Yeah, he's got a low constitution. But because this character class came out of the Highlander CA, where there's a big dueling optional mechanic, This ability here, this talent, really gives you an edge if you follow the optional rules for dueling in the vault. It's really good. And flexible defense is another first level talent here. You can calculate your defense using either strength, dexterity, or intelligence, whichever is the highest. Now, being a smart hero, chances are your intelligence is probably going to be your highest one, but this also gives you some nice wiggle room to play with if you want to have a bit more of a battle-hardy smart hero. Now, at 3rd level, your plans improve. At 5th level, we get not only plans improving again, but that advanced combat training, that talent that lets you attack twice in a single attack action once per turn. Again, this really lets you knuckle dust it up. And then at 7th and 9th level, we again see plans improving. And these plans are very flavorful, very open to fun interpretation in various situations. And this class here gives me a very strong Batman vibe in many ways. To be clear, not the facet of the Batman that is the super stealth ninja or the billionaire, but the facet of the Batman that is able to plan the downfall of everyone around him in a microsecond. So some of these plans here. Actionable intelligence. Basically, you do this without an action. Just whenever you decide to enact it, you spend the genius point, and until you take another long rest, you automatically succeed on the next perception or investigation check to spot a trap, ambush, hazard, anything of that nature within your line of sight or hearing, if that would be the appropriate sense. No need to roll, just if you know it, if it's there, you know it. Once this check succeeds, then the effect ends. And as you go up in level, you get additional uses of this. So you get 2 dangers at 3rd, 3 at 5th, 4th at 7th, 5 at 9th. By the time you get up to your 9th level, you're basically impossible to catch in a trap. I arranged transportation. This one made me just squeal with glee and think of the Batmobile showing up. You literally say, hey, I called a ride. And in comes the Comanche helicopter, in comes the limousine, in comes the snowmobiles, what have you. Basically, again, this is something that you could do at any time outside of combat or with an action in combat. And the means of transportation comes with a pilot. And it is supposed to be sufficient for the members of your team and will take you to the nearest feasible location based on instructions pretty easily. Now, you can specify the type of transport, but it must be available in the time period and capable of arriving at the location. For example, if you're in a sinking ship in the Atlantic, you're not going to literally call a taxi and he's not going to show up. Maybe the space taxi, but no, I'm kidding. Now, this does not necessarily guarantee you immediate access to the transportation. So, for example, if you're in a prison cell, you call a taxi, it'll arrive at the visitor's parking lot. A taxi's not going to be pile driving through the stone walls of a prison. But as you go up in levels here, usually you only have this transportation for about an hour. But the amount of time you have increases as you go up in level until by the time you get to 5th level, you have the transportation for the entire rest of the day. At higher levels, your driver or pilot gets advantage on their vehicle checks while they're driving you. And at ultimate level, at 9th, you can even get military transports that, quite frankly, you really shouldn't be able to get. And the pilot is authorized to use their weapons. In self-defense, admittedly, but it makes a point of saying heroes that decide to man the vehicle's weapons are under no such restrictions. And then this one is equally beautiful. I brought a friend. You use an action in combat to say, oh, by the way, I called in backup. You're summoning an ally. Now, this ally shows up with a challenge rating of 1/4. Generally speaking, you want to work with the GM to say what sort of characters or creatures you would bring in for this. And their stats are generally already available if you were to perhaps select an NPC type from the list of allies and adversaries in the core book of the vault, just for ease of transportation here, if you'll pardon the pun. But the CA grows in level. By the time you get to 9th level, you can have a CR4 battle buddy show up. And they'll go right after your initiative in the turn order. This is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then we come with perfect timing. This one is going to be one of your more combat-focused ones, and I got to play a strategist uh, in the Highlander CA adventure, and this guy really made use of it. My character really loved making use of this. Basically, you use a reaction to any action by any combatant to make an attack against any opponent you can target. You literally make use of whatever chaos on the battlefield to say, yeah, I'm going to stab that guy, or I'm going to shoot that guy. Now, even if you have multiple reactions, you can only use this plan once until the start of your next turn. For example, if you were, say, a tough hero bodyguard with all those extra reactions, but then you use this, you can only use this once per turn. And as you go up, that reaction attack gets all sorts of bonuses and buffs. At third level, you can use your intelligence modifier for attack and damage with this reaction attack instead of the usual stuff, which is great synergy for what's already a really high score for the smart hero. And then as you go up and up and up, you get advantage on the attack roll at 1 level. If you hit, it becomes an automatic critical hit at the 7th level. And then 9, if you hit, you get your reaction back. You still can't use this plan more than once in your turn, but you get your reaction back. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is literally a battle master here.
Yeah, more than Batman, it reminds me a lot of Green Hornet. Calling in Kato and the Black Beauty.
Yeah.
That's what it
Calling
really
Kato and that is brilliant. I definitely gotta stat that out now.
Yeah, it sounds perfect. And
it's amazing.
Kato can come in and he's kicking ass right there next to you. Oh man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. I'm gonna make this suggestion. All right. These superhero characters are standing up for everyday heroes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What you should do, come up with an adventure for them and talk to Eric and see if you can get this as an ego-approved adventure, like as a filler, or something that you might be able to run at Origins next year if you're going, or whatever. Ooh. If you're going to Origins next year, this would be pretty cool with your love to make characters. And some of the people from the podcast might be able to get in and play. That listen, get some of our listeners.
Yeah.
Oh, there's an idea. Yeah.
And there's
have to get on that.
And there's plenty of free domain, our public domain characters that we can make.
Oh yeah.
Adventures.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you can't actually call them their names. We gotta keep that. But who you can make and have a slight change to the name just for this game. Don't publish it because that might, some lawyer might get angry somewhere and see dollar signs from,
Right. But if you want to have a guy who happens to be named John Watson.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean,
or Watt Johnson.
I mean, you can use like Black Terror, for sure. He's public domain.
Oh yeah. A lot of the pulp guys are.
Yeah, Green Llama, the Spider. Green Hornet, I don't think is yet. I think that one still.
I think the Lone Ranger is though.
And Lone Ranger, you might be right. Lone Ranger might be open
too. If we ever get a CA that's kind of a Wild West sort of thing, but sorry, I'm starting to ramble.
Yeah, we'll save that for the end.
But okay, I got 3 more plans here, and this next one is a beauty. That was a mistake. Effectively, if an opponent misses you with an attack that only targets you, you can use a reaction to get this plan going, and you basically pick from a series of enhancements that punish the person for missing you. Now, initially, your options are the weapon jams if it's a firearm. They're so shaken by how badly this went and how intimidating you are, they have disadvantage on their next attack. They fumble and drop the weapon, if it's not attached to them. Or the weapon gets stuck in an object adjacent to you or them if it's a melee weapon and such, and they have to use an athletics check to against your plan DC to pull it out, sword in the stone style, if it's a slashing or piercing weapon. And then you get additional options and the ability to place more than one punishment on the guy as you go up in level. So the other punishments you can get are things like the attack that misses you hits an enemy or object you choose within 5 feet. I'm going to use my 2 fingers to just slap your sword slightly to the side so the tip goes into the guy behind me. Or like bend the bullet. And you can also, and another one you get as you go up in level as a possible punishment option is you can make an opportunity attack as part of this reaction that you use for the plan. And it eventually gets up to the point where you can place 3 of these punishments on the poor sap.
Damn.
I know, right? And so that was a mistake, and perfect timing are so fun to use in combat. I can tell you that from my own experiences there. And now this next one actually borders on extraordinary type powers that you guys will be going into in your classes. This one, you could interpret this one as being honest to God weather control. It's called the Perfect Storm. Now,
That was a good movie.
oh yeah, it really was. I mean, yeah, it's absolutely was fantastic. I mean, George Clooney was amazing in that film. He was a great actor.
You know
But,
what that movie missed?
Eric Roberts?
That's exactly right. He could have been like a salty fisherman. He would have played that part really well.
To a T. To a T. And, well, this Perfect Storm, narratively, it says that basically you are so looking ahead in your tactical and strategic planning that you pin down the weather reports and predictions, and so you happen to make sure this battle starts right as X weather is about to happen. On enacting this plan, you must specify what the local weather conditions will be for the next 8 hours. Now, these have to be within reasonable bounds of the weather for the location of the season, so like no blizzards in the Sahara, but you're just predicting it so closely and so well and timing your actions to what's going to happen that you get benefits here. You create weather conditions favorable to your team or just plain uncomfortable for your foe. So effectively, you can specify the direction and speed of the wind up to 20 miles an hour, the temperature up to 20 degrees hotter or colder than normal for the location and season, precipitation and rain or snow as appropriate for the season, or clear skies. Humidity is high, low, or moderate, and things like thick fog banks, mist, things that would obscure the area. Now, as you go up in level, those limits on the weather and climate stuff you can predict / cause are going to go up to the point where, as will the duration for the prediction. So eventually, you'll be able to specify the weather conditions for up to 3 days. 3 days! And the maximum speed of the wind will increase by the time you get to 9th level. It goes all the way up to 100 miles per hour. And the temperature shift goes all the way up to 40 degrees of temperature. And you can, by the time you get to 7th level, specify lightning or hailstorm conditions, not just fog. I mean, we're talking Maleficent's big tantrum moment in Sleeping Beauty, the original cartoon. And it says by 9th level, you can specify tornado, typhoon, or hurricane conditions.
Oh,
I know,
typhoon.
right? Typhoon!
Yeah. What about
I tell
tsunami?
ya. You know, I think it's implied, but and you got to be on the coast.
Yeah.
But the final plan here is you've already lost. And again, this is so fun to use. Basically, you can use an action to try and intimidate or logic your opponent into a surrender, basically convincing them that what they're doing is a lost cause. If the target's challenge rating is lower than your level, they must make a wisdom saving throw against your plan DC. If they fail, they either flee or surrender at the discretion of the GM, but if attacked, they will return to fighting. Now, if the target's challenge rating or level is equal to or higher than your level, instead, they just get distracted by you until the beginning of your next turn because you're messing with their head. Now, at 3rd level, you can actually use this plan as a bonus action or an action, but only once on your turn. And at 9th level, that distraction option, that distraction condition lasts until the end of the encounter. You just game their brains. You Vincini them in a Princess Bride fashion. So yeah, this is a fantastic class. Really cool, versatile ways to either improve your combat abilities with a cool plan attack or reaction, or just manipulate the battlefield, transportation, battle buddies. It's just so much fun.
It's truly inconceivable, is what you're saying.
I do not think it means what you think it means. Why do you keep using that word?
I am the Brute Squad.
You are the Brute Squad. Oh yeah, Vincini is totally a strategist. Maybe
yes.
Actually no, Vincini actually would be a mastermind with multi-class talents and strategist.
Yes, yes.
Wesley I could see as a strategist with, say, the scoundrel agile multiclassing or the duelist multiclassing.
Yes. Yes.
And
I
of
see
course
that as well.
Fessick is he's a brawler. He's a brawler.
Yeah.
Maybe some MMA training, but Andre the Giant would literally flip a car when he was drunk.
I mean, you have all these ideas. You just need adventures for these ideas, and you could
I
run one of
know.
these at Origins like every year or something, whatever big con you go to.
That would be pretty sweet. I won't lie.
I think that'd be pretty awesome myself.
But that is it for the strategist. Personal experience lets me tell you I give it 2 thumbs way up, and now I am passing the baton. I think next one up is the Alien Gadgeteer.
Yes, that will be mine because I am out of this world. Before we do that,
X-Files music.
I'm going to do a little tease. I was speaking with the great and wise hero leader. I have been clued in on the CA that the announcement comes tomorrow.
Ooh, so many cool things are happening tomorrow. It's St. Nicholas Day. The gifting of the world is so real here.
He said 6 a.m. tomorrow. I don't know if that's my time or his time, because he's on the West Coast and we are on the East Coast. We are coasties, but yeah. You guys are gonna like it, and you listeners out there. By the time you hear this, it will be announced. But I'm not gonna ruin it. I'm just gonna tease you.
Oh.
But you
Well
are
played, sir.
going.
Well played.
You are going to like it, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, that is awesome!" Because I need
am
to put
fully
this
prepared.
tease in here.
So
You're not prepared.
Is it a really big get?
Okay, so I don't want to give anything away. I got to figure out how to answer that. It is cultish.
Mm?
It's a cultish get.
Okay.
I know what I'm hoping, but
okay.
Okay. Back to Smart Heroes.
Yes. All right. That's the tease for now.
I'm not gonna make any guesses, but I'm like, okay.
You have an idea. You have a guess in your head.
I have a hope.
You have a hope, bro. Do you have a guess in your head? Do you have a thought, an inclination, an idea?
Oh, I there's no thoughts in this head. What are you talking about?
Well, you are a barbarian, but I was giving you the benefit of the doubt.
I've got a couple of ideas of what it possibly could be, but we'll talk about it off camera. How about we'll do that, and then yeah, I'll see it. I'm probably going to be far from wrong or far from right. So,
far from right.
Yeah, I'll be far from right.
All right. We are starting the extraordinary, or for the simpletons, the extraordinary classes of Smart Hero. We have the Alien Gadgeteer. That's you're alien and you make shit. What's not cool about that? So, from the book, you repair and operate alien technology. You might have acquired this technology or discovered it as part of your research. But whatever the case, it allows you to perform miraculous feats of technology beyond what humans are capable of. To the uninformed, you may even appear to wield mystic powers. Thanks to advanced technologies that they use, alien gadgeteers have access to a variety of plans with the effects not otherwise possible. Far from helpless in a fight, thanks to their alien weaponry, gadgeteers can solve all kinds of problems in strange and unexpected ways. That gives you the creativity. So for proficiencies, we are running with dexterity and intelligence. Skills, you get 3 from arts and crafts, computers, investigation, mechanics, natural sciences, perception, sleight of hand, and vehicle. You get technical expertise. You gain an expertise in one of those following skills that you are proficient in. Your equipment is basic equipment. Recommendations for equipment are the mechanic pack, but no weapons. But it says see alien weapon talent. So, on to the talents.
Ooh.
At level 1, you get gadgets and alien weapon. Level 3, plans improve. Level 5, advanced alien weapon and a plan improvement. 7, a plan improvement. And 9, mastered alien weapon and plans improve. So, to the talent, gadgets. You carry an array of alien technology as well as tools to operate and repair that technology. These gadgets appear to be normal electrician's kit to anyone not familiar with alien technology. And they can, in fact, be used as an electrician's kit as well as a mechanic's kit. In addition to their other uses, your gadgets have a combined bulk of 2 when carried by anyone other than you, but you treat them as bulk 0.
Oh.
A bulk 0. You know where you can hide that? I shouldn't say.
I was gonna say up my sleeve, but there's another direction that could go.
Yeah, it's the what they call the prison wallet. You know, for a bulk 0, you smuggle that thing right into the prison. Now, if your hero's in prison, you're in some trouble. Uh, all right. Your plans represent the technology you have managed to repair, charge, and stabilize enough to be used at least once before more work must be done. If you lose your gadgets, you can assemble a new one out of salvaged alien tech. This takes you 8 hours of work, and you must have access to alien tech to salvage. Let's see. Alien weapon. You have a special weapon reverse engineered from alien technology. Choose one of the following weapons listed below. You are proficient in this weapon, and you can treat it as to have a bulk of 0. You can disguise this weapon as part of your gadgets, causing it to appear as harmless tool or some unknown form of alien technology to anyone who recognizes alien artifacts. It stops functioning if it is not on your person for longer than 1 hour.
That is a really cool talent. This along with the scientist just makes such a versatile, almost magical combat option here.
Yeah. All right. So let's go over these 3 weapons here. We have Energy Blade. This weapon has a small handle that projects a blade of pure plasma, which cuts through almost anything. We have a Corroder. This weapon resembles a handheld radar dish. When activated, the device projects waves of particles that tear matter apart at the molecular level, stripping off layers like acid.
Nice.
And the third one, Lightning Projector. This wand-like metal rod resembles a tiny lightning rod, but has quite the opposite use. It allows you to fire bolts of lightning at your foes. Zap,
Yes.
zap, zap. Now, the Energy Blade is 1d10 fire and melee. With a PV of 5, it is finesse and loud.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. The Corroder is 1d8 acid, range of 100-200, with a PV of 4, and is loud.
Nice.
And the lightning projector is a 1d6 electrical with a range of 1,000. That's right, 1,000 with a max range of 2,000.
Shocking.
With a PV of 3, and it is also loud.
Gotta bring the thunder.
And the lightning.
Woohoo.
I mean, 1,000, 2,000, that's bigger than any combat you're probably going to have.
You literally need to have ocular enhancers just to see that far.
On a clear day, you could see 1,000 yards.
That's
You might be
fair.
able to shoot a plane with it.
Oh, there's a wrinkle I hadn't thought of. Okay. Huh.
All right, let's see. You can build a new alien weapon whenever you finish a long rest. If you create a new alien weapon, any previously created weapon stops functioning. You must have your gadgets with you to do this. At level 5, deal an additional damage die when you hit with an attack using an alien weapon.
Nice.
And at level 9, deal 2 additional damage dice when you hit. So that's going to be 4 dice at level 9.
Well, actually, I think it doesn't add to the one. It replaces the one from level 5.
It says additional.
Yeah, but later on it says replacing the bonus from advanced alien weapon.
Oh, yes, okay. So
That
would
way
be
it
3
scales
dice.
kind of like the dangerous stuff does.
Right, so it'd be 3D whatever your device does.
Aye.
Now we have plans. Please forgive me, I have to take sips of drink. That's what my pausing is. I'm like, oh, you gotta take a drink. There's a lot to read here. So the alien gadgeteer plans. We have biological conditioner. I hope it comes in a squeeze tube. When you enact this plan as an action, you subtly modify the biology of up to 10 willing people within 10 feet of you, granting them one of the following special benefits for the next 10 minutes or until you enact this plan again. Damage reduction 5 against one of the following damage types of acid, cold, electrical, fire, poison, or psychic. If you select this option multiple times, you can increase the reduction against an already chosen damage type by 5 or choose a new damage type. They are treated
Sweet.
as wearing armor with the sealed property. They have oxygen for the duration. They can breathe underwater and do not treat swimming as difficult movement. They can see normally underwater as well.
Nice.
They treat gravity above normal gravity as if it were one step lower. They ignore difficult movement imposed by low gravity and high gravity. Their maximum bulk is increased by 5. They gain night vision, allowing them to treat poor visibility due to low light as normal visibility and no visibility due to no light as poor.
Really
They
good.
They treat radiation as if it were one step lower, deadly to dangerous, dangerous to weak, and weak to none.
Whoa.
And the final, they have advantage on dex acrobatics checks as well as on any saving throws made to avoid losing balance or falling prone.
Damn.
At 3rd level, this lasts for an hour. At 5th, you can choose 2 benefits. At 7th, it's 4 hours. And at 9th, you can choose 3 of the benefits. That's pretty good. I mean, there's some cool things in there.
Very versatile. It really does open the door for a lot of utility here.
It does. It's kind of like a buff, like you got water breathing, you got dark vision.
Yeah, all rolled into one here.
Yeah. I mean, 9th level, you get 3 options, so.
This is pretty sweet.
All right, we got Dimension Modifier. As an action, you enact this plan to cause one object you touch to grow larger or smaller for the next 10 minutes until you enact this plan again or spend an action to end the effect. If you cause the object to grow larger, its size doubles in all dimensions and its bulk is doubled. If there isn't enough room for the target to reach full size, it attains the maximum possible size in the space available. If you make the object smaller, the size is half, then all dimensions and bulk is half. So if you have an object that you want to carry or abscond with, you can shrink its size. Or if you have something like a table that you need to use as cover, you can enlarge it. Add some handy usefulness. At third
Oh,
level,
yeah.
you can choose a creature instead of an object. At fifth level, you choose a target that you can see within 100 feet instead of one that you touch. The duration becomes 1 hour if you target an object. At seventh level, you can quadruple the size, but not a combatant, or reduce it to 1/4 of its normal size. Bulk is multiplied by 4 or reduced to 1/4. And ninth level, you can target up to 6 objects or combatants when you enact this plan.
Nice.
So I could see quite a few uses for this.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
This plan is why I chose the Alien Gadgeteer as my Ant-Man build.
Mm.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, this sounds like Hank Pym from West Coast Avengers when he wasn't a
Absolutely.
superhero, but he was still kind of doing his thing. Yeah.
Yeah. He had the red work suit. The red like yeah. Scientist Supreme.
Mm-hmm. So we got
All
what?
right. So now, next one up is Gravity Manipulator.
Mm-hmm.
As an action, you alter gravity in a 10-foot radius, 20-foot tall cylinder that you can see within 100 feet. You can increase or decrease the gravity level in that area by up to 2 steps to a maximum of high gravity and a minimum of low gravity. The alteration applies for 1 minute or until you end the plan, enact this plan again, or spend an action to end the effect. If you are in a location with 0 gravity, you decide the direction of any new gravity that you create. Oh, this could be
Cool.
bad. For bad guys, anyway.
I love it.
At third level, you can change your choice of gravity alteration as an action. The area remains the same. At fifth level, you can increase or decrease the gravity level in the area by up to 3 steps to a maximum of immense gravity to a minimum of 0 grav. Alternatively, you can change the direction of gravity by 90 degrees, which has the following rules. Let's see, sideways gravity. Gravity is altered so that it pulls 90 degrees to normal gravity at the same gravity level. Anything in the area falls sideways, treating walls and other rigid objects as the ground. Combatants in the area can make a dex saving throw against your plan DC to grab onto an anchored object and avoid falling. An object or combatant that falls past the edge of the area without striking anything is ejected from the area, is pushed an additional 10 feet in the direction that it falls, and falls prone. Seventh level, you can choose to affect a 20-foot radius, 60-foot tall cylinder, and you can choose a location you can see within 500 feet. At ninth level, you can increase or decrease the gravity level in the area by up to 4 steps to a maximum of crushing gravity and a minimum of 0 grav. Alternatively, I can't speak tonight, you can reverse the direction of the gravity, which has the following rule. Gravity is reversed so that it pulls at the same gravity level in the opposite direction to normal gravity. Anything and anyone not anchored by the floor or some other structure falls upward, treating ceilings and similar objects as the ground. Combatants in the area can make a dex saving throw against your plan DC to grab onto an anchored object to avoid falling. Anything that falls upward and does not strike the surface remains at the top of the area while the effect persists. Oscillating between gravity, when the effect ends, gravity returns to normal. Anything in the area falls as normal.
Sweet. So many cool things you can do with that shenanigans wise.
Oh, yes. I get knocked down, but I get up again. Never going to keep me down. All right, now we have hologram projector.
Loki shenanigans.
When you enact this plan as an action, you create a hologram so lifelike that it can fool others into thinking that it is real. You create a holographic image of an object, person, or some other visible phenomenon no larger than a medium-sized person or a 5-foot cube. The image appears at a spot within 60 feet and lasts for up to 1 minute until you move more than 60 feet away from the image or you enact this plan again. The image is purely visual. It isn't accompanied by sound, smell, or other sensory effects, but it blocks sight as if real. That'd be pretty good for, throwing up a wall just to get, concealment.
True.
Let's see.
Very true.
Physical interaction with the image reveals it to be a hologram because matter can pass through it. A combatant that uses its action to examine the image can determine that it is fake with a successful intelligence investigation against your plan DC. If a ranged attack is made against the hologram, the attack instead targets whatever is directly on the other side of the image so long as the new target is in range. Third level, you can use your action to cause the image to move to any spot within 60 feet of you. As the image changes location, you can alter its appearance so its movements appear natural for the image. For example, if you create an image of a person and move it, you can alter the image so it appears to be walking. At fifth level, the area becomes a 10-foot cube. The image seems real, including sound, smell, and temperature appropriate to the depicted object or person. However, you can't create sufficient heat or cold to cause damage, a sound loud enough to deal damage, or deafen a creature, or smell powerful enough to sicken a creature. You can cause the image to make different sounds at different times and even make it carry a conversation. At 7th level, the area becomes 20-foot cube, and the range, both initial and distance you must move to end the effect becomes 120 feet, and the image lasts for 10 minutes. At 9th level, you can move the image as a free action once during each of your turns, rather than spending an action. When you do, you can also change the image to any other image that you can normally create. If you move far enough away from that image to end the effect, it is always suspended, and you can move it to a new location during your turn.
Cool.
That could be pretty useful.
Very.
All right, we have 3 more plans to go. Matter Disintegrator. All right. When you enact this plan as an action, you can disintegrate one non-living object that you touch. If you choose an object held or worn by an unwilling combatant, you must succeed on an opposed strength athletics or dex sleight of hand check against that combatant's choice of either strength athletics or dex acrobatics. If you fail, the plan is wasted. You destroy every part of the touched object within a 2-foot cube, spreading outward from where you touch it. Matter destroyed in this way is reduced to a tiny pile of dust that usually is sufficient to effectively destroy any handheld object, even if it is larger than 2 feet in any dimension. But GM has final discretion. So you walk up to the guy that's trying to shoot you, you grab his weapon, and poof, there it goes. You can also target a non-living combatant such as a robot as if it itself a handheld object. If you succeed, the target takes 3d6 acid damage, ignoring armor. A vehicle affected by this plan instead suffers 3d6 acid damage, ignoring armor. At 3rd level, you destroy every piece of the object within a 5-foot cube, and acid damage becomes 46. At 5th level, you can target an object or non-living combatant within 60 feet of you, making this a ranged attack. Making it ranged. If you choose an object held or worn by a combatant, or you target a non-living combatant instead, making an opposed check, the target must make a dex saving throw against your plan DC. It is affected if the fail save. A non-living creature combatant takes half damage on a successful save. The acid damage is to vehicle or non-living combatant becomes 5d6. 7th level, it's a 10-foot cube and 66 damage. And at 9th level, it's 120 feet. You can affect all objects, vehicles, and non-living combatants within a 10-foot cube. And combatant makes one save for all of its held and worn objects. Damage becomes 70. Mind,
Whoa.
yeah, it's a Rust monster right there, folks. Mind Disorganizer. When you enact this plan as an action, you blast one combatant within 60 feet of you that you can see with mind scrambling energy. Man, I could go for some eggs. The combatant must make an intelligence saving throw against your plan DC, taking 2d8 psychic damage, ignoring armor, on a failed save or half on a successful one. A failed save, the target is also sickened until the end of your next turn. Let's see. 3rd level, damage becomes 3d8. 5th, it becomes 48, and the target is also stunned until the end of your next turn on a failed save. 7th level becomes 5d8, 9th becomes 68, and the target is also paralyzed until the end of your next turn on a failed save. So that's pretty good as well. Oh, I might like this last plan the best. I'm not sure. Teleportation Initiator.
Love this one.
When you enact this plan as an action, you teleport yourself up to 60 feet to a location you can see. During a chase, you instead immediately gain 1 chase point. Some Nightcrawler vibes going on there.
Bam.
Very much.
Let's see. At 3rd level, you can use this plan as a bonus action. During a chase, you can enact this plan as a reaction when a complication is announced. When you do, you teleport past the complication, avoid making any check or save against it, and gain 1 chase point. 5th level, you can teleport up to 120 feet. You gain an additional chase point during a chase. At 7th level, you can teleport a willing ally within 30 feet of you instead of yourself. That's a good way to save a buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And at 9th level, you can teleport yourself and up to 5 other willing allies within 10 feet of you. Each ally appears in the location of your choice within 10 feet of your new location. Oh man, that's great for some tactics to take out the mom agents.
Or just trying to get the hell out of Dodge.
That too.
Yes.
And that concludes the Alien Gadgeteer and its plan.
Yes.
And next up, the last smart hero. Take it away, bro.
Yes. So,
Woohoo.
as as we've gone through, so it's alien tech or Martian tech from Total Recall, and the strategist from the Highlander game. We are also talking about the Soothsayer from the Crow CA, as well as the Vault. But this is also the last of the the extraordinary classes? Is that what they called it in the Vault?
Yep. Extraordinary classes.
All right. Get settled in here. Get comfortable and loose with it, baby. Soothsayer. Can you look destiny in the eye without flinching? That's from Sybil, Crow, City of Angels. You are a seer, gleaning what you can from psychic visions. You gaze into the future as you easily look into the hearts of your enemies, guiding destiny to your benefit with a deft touch. Soothsayers use their plans to gather information and influence fate. They can perform remote viewing or receive portents of danger. In combat, they mostly take on a supporting role, granting their allies bonuses. But with the right plan, they can show their enemies terrifying visions, causing them psychic damage. For their talents, as foretold, Blessing of Fortune, Plan Enhancements, from level 3 through level 9. Saves, dexterity, and intelligence. Skills, you choose 2. Arts and crafts, insight, investigation, intimidation, medicine, perception, performance, persuasion, social sciences, streetwise, or survival. Their equipment is basic equipment. Their equipment pack recommended is the Mystic Pack or Everyday Pack. And for weapons, they can recommend pepper spray. Talents.
Nice.
As foretold, granted at level 1. At the start of an adventure, and whenever you finish a long rest, roll 2d20 and record the results of each die individually. At any time before you finish another long rest, you can expend one of your recorded results to replace the roll of any d20 with that number, regardless of who rolled the d20. You don't need to be present or even conscious to do this. Extended results cannot be used again, and any that were not expended are lost when you finish your next long rest. And Blessings of Fortune, granted at level 1. As an action, you can choose one ally you are aware of within 120 feet. That ally adds 1d4 to the results of the next attack roll or saving throw they make before the start of your next turn. Soothsayer plans, bend fate. When you or an ally are aware or within 120 feet makes an ability check, an attack roll, or a saving throw, you can enact this plan as a reaction to allow the target to roll an additional d20. After the roll, you can choose to replace that original roll with this new one. In the original roll was made at advantage or disadvantage, they replace both original die with the new roll. At 3rd level, you can affect any ally that you're aware of, regardless of the range. And at 5th level, the target rolls 2 additional dice and can choose either to replace their original roll. At level 7, it takes no action to enact this plan, and you can enact it even if you are not present or aware of the target. You can enact it only once per roll. And at level 9, you can enact this plan up to 3 more times within the next hour without spending genius points. Clairvoyance.
Whoa.
That's a big one. That's a big one. So, clairvoyance. By spending 1 minute concentrating, you can enact this plan to choose a point within 120 feet in a location familiar to you, a place you must have visited or seen before, or in an obvious location unfamiliar to you, such as behind a door, around a corner, or on any other side of a building. When you enact this plan, you choose seeing or hearing. For the next minute, you can use the chosen sense as if you were at the chosen point instead of your own location. While you do so, you can ignore the blinded or deafened conditions, and you can switch between your senses and the chosen point as a bonus action. At 3rd level, as an action, you can switch between seeing and hearing. At 5th level, the range becomes 1 mile. The duration becomes 10 minutes. At 7th level, you can choose both see and hear from this chosen point. And at level 9, the range becomes anywhere in the world. In a world. Not today. Not today, son. Not my house. As a reaction, when you or an ally you are aware of within 120 feet of you takes damage that would drop them to 0 hit points, you can enact this plan to cause them to drop down to 1 hit point instead. At 3rd level, you can affect any ally that you're aware of, regardless of the range. At 5th level, instead of dropping to 1 hit point, the target takes none of the damage. At 7th level, it takes no action to enact this plan, and you can enact it even if you are not present or aware of the target. And at level 9, in addition, the target miraculously takes no damage from any source until the beginning of the current combatant's turn during the next round. Next one is Read the Omens. You can enact this plan by spending 1 minute casting gem inlaid sticks, rolling bones, laying out tarot cards, or employing some other divining tool that you were prepared earlier. When you do so, you receive an omen about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. The GM chooses from the following possible omens. A good omen, the course of action will have a positive outcome. A bad omen, the course of action will have a negative outcome. A mixed omen, the course of action will have both a positive and negative outcome. And no omen, the course of action will have neither a positive nor negative outcome. This plan does not consider any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as the use of additional plans or the loss or addition of a companion. At 3rd level, you can receive omens about a course of action you plan to take within the next 4 hours. At level 5, instead of receiving a simple omen, you can ask any one question about your course of action, which the GM will answer truthfully, though the answer might be in a cryptic rhyme or a vague omen. At level 7, you can enact this plan as a free action, having already performed the divination earlier. And at level 9, you can ask up to 3 questions, as above. They can be about the same course of action or different ones. Sight beyond sight. When you enact this
Thundercats!
plan... Ho! When you enact this plan, which does not require any action, you suddenly know things about another person that you couldn't possibly know. You can ask the GM one of the following questions about any one person of your choice, which they must answer truthfully. The GM may allow other similar questions at their discretion. What do they cherish? What do they hate? What do they respect? What do they seek? What kind of being are they? What is their strength or what is their weakness? At 3rd level, you can ask 2 questions. 5th level's 3 questions. 7th level's 4 questions. And 9th level's 5 questions. The next one is Your Time Has Come. When an enemy you are aware of within 120 feet takes damage, you can enact this plan as a reaction to cause them to take an additional 2d6 damage of the same type. At 3rd level, the damage becomes 3d6, and you can affect any enemy you're aware of, regardless of the range. At 5th level, that damage becomes 5d6. At 7th level, the damage goes up to 6d6. It takes no action to enact this plan, and you can enact it even if you are not present or aware of the target, but you can do so only once before the start of your next turn. And at 9th level, that damage becomes 8d6. And last but not least, witness your end. As an action, you can enact this plan to show one enemy you are aware of within 120 feet their death. This might be their true end or simply one possible future at the GM's discretion. The target must make a wisdom saving throw, taking 2d8 psychic damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. On a failed save, the target also drops what it is holding and is frightened until the end of its next turn. At 3rd level, the damage increases to 3d8. At 5th level, you can target up to 2 enemies. On a failed save, a target is frightened for 1 minute. A target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a successful save. At 7th level, the damage becomes 4d8. And at level 9, you can target up to 3 enemies. While frightened by this plan, the target is now paralyzed. And
Sweet.
We have it. The final smart hero.
Woo!
3
Wise heroes, here we come.
I know. Oh my gosh. 3 episodes of smart heroes. And it's only going to get worse as time goes on.
Oh, yeah. Theirs is the core class that is the most flexible, because effectively what you need for each class to the archetype is a set of plans. Now, each of those is massively complicated to make, I'm sure, based on what we've heard from the folks that do the writing and such. But yeah, it makes sense that the smart heroes are the ones that have the most variance to them.
I agree. And it seems like it's like a I don't want to say whiplash, but it's certainly a dynamic difference between Everyday Heroes and D20 Modern.
Bruce.
D20 Modern had some smart heroes, but not a lot.
Not over much.
Yeah, and they've definitely flipped the script on this, where it's like there's a lot
Oh, I
more
tell
smart.
And the whole genius point cost value, especially in the higher levels, is amazing. Because the cost of the plans never increases, but their potency does. That is just beautiful. And so many plans have that situation where, hey, oh, by the way, you can make this attack or this test or this contest, whatever, every turn for a minute without having to spend another genius point.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's just a beautiful design.
It is.
It's hard to beat, for sure.
Truly. But I think that we are running down the clock.
Yeah. I think that just about concludes it. Do we have any other final business to attend to? Other than
let's see. Well, I mean, this episode will air after PAX, but myself, Robert D, and Harlan will be at PAX. We will be doing the playthrough. That will go up after this. So you guys will be able to listen in on our playthrough. With joining us from the dev team is Brian CP Steele, and he's using a special character.
Indeed.
As well as we are using characters of our own creation. So that will be interesting. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to mention.
Will you be live streaming, or will you record and then upload later?
So I thought we originally discussed live streaming, and I was excited for that. However, Harlan said we're just going to record and edit and upload later.
Sometimes the reception in convention places can be a little bit
True.
Well, I mean, I have mobile hotspot. So, what I might like to do is I might grab random Everyday Heroes players and give them a quick interview, and then send the audio over to Harlan, and maybe we could add that into a special, PAX production besides the playthrough. I'd also like to do a little interview with Brian, that we can put up as well. So we'll see.
That would be awesome.
We'll see what goes down and what we can do. Because what I might do is, like I said, I'm going to plan on hanging out at the booth on Friday for Evil Genius Games, and maybe I'll be able to meet some interesting players or people, and maybe get some interviews from there, because I'm basically just gonna wing it, because fuck preparation.
Alrighty.
Any of you guys have any thoughts or ideas or something you guys would like to say?
No, just excited to meet a few of you guys in person for the first time, and excited to play some everyday heroes.
And hopefully those interviews will be less cursed than all of mine have been so far.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I just ended up getting a new phone and tablet by switching over to Verizon for my cell service on Black Friday.
Ooh.
So I got to make sure the tablet's charged in its new case that I got for it, and I got to make sure my charging brick is charged in case I need to use it to charge either device or both devices. I don't know.
Aye, aye.
And then I got to get up tomorrow and do a little cleaning out of my car because my one friend I'm giving a ride down tomorrow and Saturday, not just Saturday. So
A
stuff.
safe journey.
We don't have far to go. We got probably about 20 minutes depending on traffic.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I've already got my parking spot reserved for Friday and Saturday, so I don't have to go looking for a spot. It's already paid for. Super expensive, but
Cool beans.
parking in a major city.
I still trying to figure out the parking situation myself.
Uh,
All right. Well, you guys have an awesome night, and really fun to keep going through these classes and archetypes with y'all.
All right, just hang around for a few minutes after we end the broadcast.
Yep.
Aye, aye.
We can.
Uh.
We'll crack the case of the new CA. And ladies and gentlemen, I am looking forward to seeing all the stuff that comes out of the conventions, and I'm hoping to see plenty of on camera or even just hear audio interviews. That'd be great. What comes out of it? So to everybody in the audience, please hit like, subscribe, comment. It helps the algorithm. The whole ups and downs and musical tones of, if you've been on YouTube long enough, you know what it is. So please, help us out. Share our videos, share our podcast. We appreciate it. We're looking forward to meeting all of you in upcoming conventions. There's plenty of them going on around the country, and Evil Genius is they've been asking us to come out to whatever ones we can come out to. So, eventually you'll meet us all at some point, which I'm really looking forward to. So next episode, I guess we'll be discussing Wise Heroes, and eventually we're going to get to Highlander. So I'm really looking forward to those.
Woohoo! Yeah. There could be
Awesome.
only one.
If your head leaves your shoulders, it's over.
Although I assume there's probably going to be more than one episode about Highlander. So, there can be a few.
Just like there were more than one film.
Exactly.
But only the first one was the best one.
It was iconic, absolutely.
Yes.
My favorite.
It's certainly the most iconic,
Yeah.
I kind of didn't
All
mind.
right. Well, good night, everybody.
All right. Good night, everybody.
And we'll see you guys and ladies next time.
Doodles.
Bye-bye.